Good morning, everyone. It's been a while since I've been on. Today is the 9th of January, and it's been a while. I got really busy with the holidays. I got exhausted with the holidays, and then I came down with a sinus infection, and it just made my face pound. And yeah, that's because it's been cold, and my heat is dry, and blah blah blah. So I just haven't been feeling good. So that's why you haven't seen me. But I did get an email from somebody who wanted me to check into Canada. And the person that we see on the world stage is Justin Trudeau resigning. So she had some very specific questions, but then my guides got really chatty, and this is a freaking long. I mean, they wanted to hammer some things home. So I think this is going to cover what she's asked, even though it's not in the form of the questions that she asked. So the first thing that I asked is I wanted to know a true story, you guys, around the fact that the person that we see on the world stage as Justin Trudeau stood up and gave his resignation, right? Now, there's some shady things around that, and I was going to ask those questions. But my guides had a lot to say around this particular thing, and I think it will answer everything for her and all of you just by going with the flow of what they wanted to say. So, before we get started, don't follow any emails or links in the comment section of any of my videos by anyone claiming to be me or otherwise soliciting you for anything. Those are scammers. Don't do it. And the next thing is the healing intentions are set for you folks as per the usual. So if you want them and you so choose, go ahead, breathe that energy in and decree that for your highest and greatest good only and always. So let's get started. So the first thing I wanted was a true story around what we saw where Justin Trudeau came out and went live the other day, given his resignation. So this is where it starts, okay, you guys? So let me just say, representing the person that we see on the world stage, who everyone calls Justin Trudeau, their hands were tied. Like, this was something that they had to do. They had to do it, okay? So their hands were tied. And this is a time, secondary message, time of great enlightenment. Now, your pathway here is being driven, the pathway to him coming on and giving his public resignation is the Wheel of Fortune. So this is a karmic event, and you're watching something karmic unfold, okay? Had to happen this way. It's a karmic event unfolding, okay? So that's what's driving your pathway. And he had to do it. So his hands were tied. Whether he wanted to do it or he didn't want to do it doesn't matter. His hands were tied. He was going to do it regardless, because there's somebody else with good intentions, loving intentions, you guys, that is kind of telling people, someone with a better journey, more bloomed journey, so more influence, more stature, more power, however you want to look at that, but good intentions, telling a lot of people really what they have to do. And so it's just part of the event that's driving the reading the karmic event. All right. So let's look at the whole pathway. So the pathway is, this is like a Wheel of Fortune moment. His hands were tied. He had to do it. And it's what you saw. This is like a show, okay? So what you saw with him resigning, it's a show, okay? It's something going on between the dark and the light that is being made to be visible to all of us, what I would consider ordinary people. At the very top of your pathway, there's somebody else, much bigger, more protected, that's moving you forward, that is like dictating to this person what to do. All right, you guys. So there are people, as you're going to see, there are people behind the scenes that are kind of creating this scenario, okay? So you're watching a show. You're literally watching a show. And this is his role to play. Karmic events dictate that. And other people with better intentions, loving intentions, are kind of dictating what's going on in the show that you're watching unfold when it comes to this character who really had no choice but to stand up and present himself in this way to all of you. So across from your pathway, having this presented to you and his hands being tied, and leadership above you that you don't know about, dictating this scenario. It's a very emotional time for you folks in Canada, and it's like you've been through enough, and all of these shows and things that you're witnessing are driving you a bit crazy, right? So with that, we need more what's really going on, right? So over here, Canada's going through a lot of chaotic times right now, very, very chaotic. But what's not being noticed is that good things are happening there in your background. And they're going to say this again, but with this card, it's like if you turn around and you look hard enough, you can see that good things are happening. But right now, the focus is just on the chaos. People are only looking at the chaos, really. But there are cycles that's being ended there in Canada. And right now, what you're seeing is sort of like a battle between the dark and the light, the push and the pull, right? The contrast. You're seeing all of this contrast coming out as these people in power that have been in power are coming to an end. You know, they're pushing against what's changing. So you're seeing the push. You're seeing the push, okay? And so what's really happening is you have healing things that are coming in and ending these cycles for you. So good stuff is coming in and ending these cycles for you, bringing some balance to your country and pulling in good leadership that is more fair. And then over here they're saying you've got to be really discerning right now because you're receiving via this stuff, right? However you're receiving this, whether it's back channels or front channels or newspapers or however you're receiving your information, you're receiving a lot of false information. But there is truth. And you've got to be very discerning because what you're seeing is upsetting you, but you do have a vibration of joy over you because there is some truth out there. What's going on is your country is being mended. And it's being mended by people that you can't see. It's being mended by people in the background who you're not seeing right now. But there is a mending happening to Canada and bringing justice in. And so I asked if I got that correct. And I did with the magician. So I got all of this correct, you guys. But you're living under a law of illusion. So what you're seeing is being projected by people that are telling others what to do that you're not seeing. So it's a little convoluted, right? So then I asked, because one of the things that she did want to know, I said, this looks very positive. It looks, Canada's being mended by people they can't even see. Justice is coming. There is truth that's out there for you folks. The leadership that's kind of dictating things to these people that do have their hands tied, for instance, like Justin Trudeau, is under this love vibration, and under the 7, these people moving forward, this is a protective card. So you've got good stuff going on. It's just that what you're seeing, you're feeling the fact that what you're seeing is an illusion. And you really are seeing these illusions. You're not getting the full truth. And because of the manipulation and not seeing these people in the background, it can be driving people a bit nuts. So, there's good stuff happening here. You have healing things, ending cycles, healing things, ending not so great people in power, right? So bringing in something more fair. And so I asked, with all of that, does that mean that in the end, through this chaos, where something new is blooming nicely, that there are going to be positive outcomes for Canada? And what I got was this, and this is a super positive card. It's 2. So something very balancing coming to Canada. But also, this is garlic. So this is a very prosperous card. This is like good luck. Garlic is good luck. It's prosperity. It's abundance. And so that would be a yes, and it would be that you're in the process of an abundant harvest, of something very positive coming to you, and you've already begun this process. So I wanted more of a story. And what they're saying is that things are happening that you're not looking at, that you could feel pretty good about, but you're not seeing it. You could see it, but you're not seeing it. And it's the same with this, that the focus has been more on the chaos rather than the blooming. So there's stuff that you're not seeing, but you could see it, you guys, that's been manifesting over a long period of time with this Queen of Wands, that is really nurturing for your country and for you, and bringing in a whole new way of being. But you're not seeing it because the focus has been on the people in power that you do know have been very greedy and manipulative and really treating the people of Canada bad. And it's hard to step out of that focus. But they're saying that cycle is ending, and the thieves under the table are being exposed. And there's a transfer that's going back to just your ordinary people. You're ending this cycle. You ordinary people with your children and your pets, people like me and you, your regular population, this is a cycle that is coming to end, what you've been through. And something new is about to begin. All right, so my guides were feeling very chatty, and so I switched decks because that's already pretty long reading, a lot of cards used. So I guess I read this first. I laid this first. So more of this story is that, over time, you in Canada, the ordinary folk, have been pushed out of the troubled waters that this country, your country, was in. And you're right there, right in the midst of like getting into that smoother time. And it's a time that you have got to be very discerning, you guys. There are things that are out there that isn't, it's lies, it's manipulation, and there's a lot of truth. And so you've got to be very discerning, and you have to look for the positives. This is a time that's been a highly emotional time for you folks. Very emotional with this Page of Cups. Like emotions overflowing, but it's bringing great enlightenment. It's an enlightening time. It's a new time for Canada, honestly. Unfortunately, in this time of enlightenment, it's put you folks in a bit of limbo. You've been in a bit of limbo. But rest assured, there are good leadership that are working to absolutely still and paralyze these chains that have been binding you, that had you in this troubled water. Okay? Now this is where they want us to smarten up, all of us, all of us. They're telling us a shitload of work has gone in, tons of work has gone in, not just there with you folks in Canada, but all over the world. All over the world. People have picked up their swords and they are fighting the establishments. And secrets are being revealed and things are changing. And it is uncomfortable because the moon, as it creates these endings, and you've got two endings, the moon, as it creates these endings, exposes secrets, and it does come with a bit of discomfort. But this is all being done for ordinary people, the regular people of the world. So these establishments are coming to end to help the regular people of the world, the whole world over. And it's been a shitload of work, and it's gone on for a long time. This isn't just you folks, it's the whole world. So when they say it's going on the whole world over, it means all of us are seeing a bunch of bullshit. All of us are going through chaos. All of us are being fed lies with some truths. All of us need to be discerning. All of us need to really dig and look at the things that are already happening, and the good things that are blooming in ways and in places, and we need to take note of that. All of us, not just you folks in Canada. And I asked if I got this reading, am I delivering the message the way the universe has intended me to deliver it? And I got a big old yes with that, with the Lovers. And the secondary meaning behind that with the Lovers is that, yes, I got it right. And, you know, this is a higher arcana card, so this is big picture. This is the world. And yes, we have these humps that we've been having to get over, but this is what they're saying. They're saying that there's a hell of a lot of work that's gone in the world over by people who have picked up their swords against these establishments to blow things wide open, reveal secrets, get loud, end the way things were that weren't working for people, that were breaking their backs, and bring things back to the ordinary people so that we can start to feel some joy and some peace here. You know, we've been being moved out of troubled water. We're in sort of that area where we're not quite there yet. And I'm saying we now, because I'm saying the world over, right? That's what they want us to know. This isn't just a Canada thing. This is an everybody thing. And, you know, we have to be very discerning. This is a time where we have to be very discerning. It is a very emotional time, but it's also a time of great enlightenment. And unfortunately, a time where through this we have been in a bit of limbo. But there is good leadership out there, people with the highest and greatest good for intentions that have been working to still these chains that have been binding humanity. And again, it's like too much focus on what is the chaos and not looking at the things that have been manifesting that are actually good, that have already begun. And, you know, too much focus on what was and the greed, so that even though we can see that there are, you know, the thief under the table is being exposed and there is exposure as things end, and, you know, things are coming back to the ordinary people, just like in this card here, right, you guys? And new things are beginning. There's just a lot of focus on this chaos and not on the blooms. The focus is always going to the negative and not on the positive as things end, and we see the push and the pull between the dark and the light, and the establishments that are coming to end and pushing against the ending. That's what we're seeing right now, is the push against these endings as something more healing comes in, balances the scales, and brings in leadership and other ways of being that are more fair. we got to be very discerning because your tree of life is being mended. But this is all happening from people behind the scene that you can't see. Justice is coming, and there are good things that have been happening. But there's this narrative that we're seeing on the world stage that's going on by people telling others what to do. And it's just creating a lot of emotion within people and making some people feel a bit like they're going crazy. But at the top, there's this really good leadership and spiritual intentions that's sort of dictating this whole show that you're seeing, because you're not able to see the people that are actually helping to bring the justice. Not yet, anyways. So there is a lot of illusion going on, you guys. So the advice is for us, obviously to dig, right? And you do have prosperity coming to you, like better days, much more balanced, much more prosperous days are coming to Canada. So it's not so important, I think, is what they're trying to get through to us. The show with Trudeau isn't as important as looking for those things that are blooming and the healing things that are happening. As you can clearly see, some things are ending, and the push of the dark and the light is being pulled up to expose these systems. They really want us to be more positive and look for the things that have begun already, because already things are happening that are good. Brand new things already are happening and manifesting. But people aren't really looking to that. They're looking more at this. So, yeah, and then they tell us, this isn't just Canada. This has happened in the world over. And, we're nearly there. So we got to be really discerning and stay positive and look for the positive things, because we're manifesting what we focus on, you guys. So oh, nothing like breathing in incense. My goodness. So yeah, they want us to seek out the positives and start focusing on that. So I don't know. I hope that you got some value out of this. This is just what I'm getting. Yes, there are humps to get over, but there's been a lot of work going on the world over. People taking up their swords against these establishments that have been keeping people, treating people poorly. And this is all ending. And, it's going to be very, very different for the ordinary folk. So I hope that you get some value in this. This is just what I'm getting. But it looks like what you're watching is a damn illusion, and other things are happening behind the scenes that are actually creating a healing situation for Canada. And not just Canada, but the world. So I would say this is more of the Great Awakening, you guys. And we may not like the way it plays out, and we may not like the way it's being done, but it's unfolding the way that apparently it needs to. So I don't know. This is just what I'm getting. Take from it what you will. Toss the rest. That's what we do. We use our own discernment, right? And I am going to come back on. I have been off for a while because, the holidays were crazy and I was exhausted. And then I get this sinus infection and I've not felt good. So I'm going to come back on. I'm going to take a peek at the fog. I'm going to take a peek at the fires. And I'm not sure what else I'm going to take a peek at. I thought about maybe doing it all in one layout today, but my guides wanted to really talk about this stuff. And so, no room. There's no room for those other two reads during this video. So I'll be back with that stuff a little later on. All right, you guys, I hope that you found some value in this. Know that I'm sending you all love and blessings and very happy 2025. Remember that this breaks down to a 9. 9s create endings. Endings don't usually happen unless things end badly, right? So think about that for a minute. We're in a 9-year. So we may be in for some chaos, you guys, because would you have left your husband or your wife if things hadn't gotten so bad? Would you have gotten a new vehicle if the old vehicle had still been worthy of driving, right? So think about that in every aspect of your life. Would you have left the old job if you still loved it there, right? So usually when things end, they end because they're bad, and we are in a cycle of finishing cycles in this 9-year. So it may get bumpy and it may get chaotic, and, you know, things may look bad as we end things. So just keep that in mind, and be logical and be discerning. They're not saying anywhere in this that this is easy. In fact, they ended it with, yes, I've read this to you right. There are humps that we have got to get over. There are things still to come that we've got to get over. So we'll see what happens, you guys. But know that I love you all, and I'm sending you all many, many blessings and lots of love and courage and strength and perseverance and discernment and joy. You know, stay in that joy vibration. Stay in that love vibration. Start seeking out the positives rather than focusing on the negatives. That's what they really want us doing. They want us seeking the positives here. So, you know, that creates a balance too, right? We can't focus too much on the negatives. We become very imbalanced. Then we walk with fear. And I don't know how many times my guides have said, do not walk with fear. So, yeah, so if any of you guys know of good things that are happening, please do. Let me know in the comments. And until next time, you guys, I'm sending you love and blessings. I'll see you soon. Take care.